So as we know, there is a mental illness that has been plaguing the Western world since its inception. That mental illness is racism. Okay? These people, I've mentioned this before, they will have everything to lose, but they just don't care because it's like an itch. It's almost, I wouldn't be surprised if they were autistic. Because the way they're willing to lose everything just to project their hate, very illogical. And we are seeing an uptick. And it's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? What did Drake say? I just want to see my struggle on the pavement. I just want to see them boys struggle with the light bill. Yeah, man. I want to see them on the pavement. I want to see them begging. I want to see them down bad, man. And this is what's happening with these racists because they're losing their jobs. Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences. You work for a private limited company. Why would they want to associate themselves with racists? It doesn't make any sense. But these people, again, they're not logical. They're not thinking.
Go back to China.
I have an update on this racist here. He's been identified as Hayden Andrews.
Founder.
No. He's got to be in his 20s, but I'm still interested to know who raised this kid. Whether his parents failed or not is really not relevant at this point because he's a man now, and this is how he presents himself in society. You look at his Instagram, he brags about making salaries and don't compare yourself to me. Motherfucker, you work for a solar and storage company, and I'm sure that won't last very long. How are you gonna get work after that? How are you gonna get work after that when every time you're looked up on the internet, people see you being racist to Asian people? For your potential future employers, I do wanna say this. He told this woman to go back to China in front of her kids on Mother's Day, completely unprompted. Demons, after he was already
demons, man. These people are demons, man. You can't convince me otherwise. What the hell?
Dangerously driving on the road. That's the jerk off applying to your company, and that's the video that will come up every single time if you hire him. And to his girlfriend, that's clearly his parents' car. He doesn't know how to earn the salaries that he spends or lives. Let me tell you this much, if you're with him because you think he's gonna take care of you for the rest of your life, guys like that are used to being taken care of. He is going to be leaning on you like a baby for the rest of your life. So, good luck getting a good job in this country, Hayden. Although, you could try getting a job in another country. Have you considered getting out of the country? Why don't you get out? Why don't you leave? Why don't you go back to Europe?
Go back to China.
I have an update on Hayden Andrews. First of all, a quick question. Why is it when I gave his name, everyone was like, oh yeah, Hayden, tracks, yeah. Is this a very Hayden thing to do? In the video, if you remember, he says, you're poor before saying go back to China. Listen.
You're poor.
Here's your update. Hayden was fired from his job at that solar company.
Sensational.
Oh no, Hayden, you thought that was really funny, didn't you? Hilarious, isn't it? And I got a lot of interesting comments about this video that I wanted to share with you. One person said that it's free speech. What he's saying is free speech. And I said, okay, yeah, sure. So is identifying him. Somebody else said, what? It is. I'm not taking away his free speech. I'm giving it a platform to see if he'll stand by it. That's all. And someone else commented, he looks like Stuart from Mad TV.
Little boys who don't take responsibility get hairy palms.
That was the funniest thing that I read today. And then to make it even funnier, Mo Collins commented, the actress that plays Stuart's mom in that sketch, Brenda, she commented, Stuart, what does mama say about being a racist prick? Well, Hayden, I hope that next time you think twice before yelling something stupid like...
Again, the problem with these people is that they aren't thinking. They are mentally ill.
Mm-hmm. And you are a nigger.
You are an idiot. No,
I am racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world.
At the Cinnabon store where an employee was fired for using offensive language, she actually received a reward for her discriminatory behavior. The Cinnabon racist has now been identified. She used racist language toward a Somali couple and even made obscene gestures. They were simply trying to order some food. Cinnabon has now immediately fired her and stated that she will no longer receive a paycheck from Cinnabon and that this mindset is not suitable for public spaces in America. Just when everyone thought the situation was over, However, the story took an even more absurd turn. Someone actually started a fundraiser for her, and people really donated. Their reasons included she was just telling the truth, she was hurt by political correctness, and this is her freedom. So a worker who lost her job for using insults ended up receiving a reward for discriminatory behavior. The victims remained silent, innocent, and humiliated, yet the aggressor received financial support. And what about the Somali couple who were insulted? What do you think about this?
So we've seen this before, and I actually covered this a very long time ago. The idea of racist people coming online saying racist shit for no reason and then getting like a GoFundMe. And then you'll also hear these people say, America's not a racist country. Well, do you guys remember that lady who she called a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word? 5-year-old autistic. It doesn't get more innocent than that. She called him the N-word and said, if that's what he's acting like. She got almost $1 million in donations. But America's not a racist country, guys.
Screen called Shiloh Hendrix. If you guys don't recall, Shiloh Hendrix went viral about 1.5 years ago for being in a park and calling a 5-year-old visibly autistic little boy the N-word with the hard R.
Did you call him a child? Did you call the child the N-word? It is my own business. You call him? Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's
Nobody digging to you.
A little kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. You can be recorded for that.
I don't give a...
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
These racist devils decided, after watching this grown woman call a 5-year-old little boy who's autistic the N-word with the hard R, they decided it was appropriate to reward her with $859,000. So
Imagine that. You know, the guy recording, in his mind, he's like, yeah, I'm going to record this and you're going to get cooked by the internet. This is America, though. You know, this is America. You get rewarded for being a hateful see you next Tuesday.
as soon as this video went viral, she launched a GoFundMe because she realized her job was cooked. She realized her livelihood was cooked, right? Once people seen who she really was, it was cooked. But the racists came to her rescue and they gave her $859,000, right? Now, they would try to disguise this, because I've seen a lot of people, including Steven Crowder and others, who disguise this as, we gave her $859,000 because, she got fired. Her life would never be the same again, right? Everything under the sun other than, hey, we don't like black people. That would have been, that would have been fine. You know why? Because now we know who you guys are, right? But they literally spit in our faces by telling us they gave Shiloh Hendrix $859,000 based off a free speech issue. Are you crazy?
This is one of them. There's so many reasons why I don't respect these people, but they can't say how they really feel. You know? Like, for me, I despise these people. I don't view them as humans. I would tell them that to their face, but they can't even give us that back. They try to, and this is the weirdest thing about racists. They believe they're good people. It's very, very strange. It's the most mentally ill thing about them. The slave owners, for example, believed that they were good, genuinely good people. I don't know how it works in their head, the cognitive dissonance for hating someone based on the color of their skin, but also believing that God loves you, for example. You're a good Christian, you're a good person. Very strange. Very strange.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shiloh Hendrix. I wanted to take a little time to talk to you all about what's been going on with my fundraiser and kind of the aftermath of the park situation. Also, some concerns that have been brought to my attention. There are a lot of people who think that this has all been a scam, that I haven't been getting my money and that it's not going to me. I have gotten every dime of my money. It's all gone to me. Nobody has asked me for any money. So there's that. Rest assured, all the money has gone to me. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen.
Guys, she racially abused a 5-year-old autistic child. Where I get like shit like this, I'll always say it makes me more upset with Africa that we have to live amongst these people. We have to live amongst these people, man. We walk past them every day. They're at our jobs. They're in our medical fields.
If we tribe up, and if we stick together, and if we keep fighting back, our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down. And we just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word. Again, I just want to say that I am so grateful for all of my supporters and all of my people who have been with me through all of this. And yeah, I haven't said anything on here. I haven't done any sort of videos or spoke to anybody really. So I felt like it was about time to clear the air and just.
She became a millionaire of racially abusing a 5-year-old autistic black child.
Levels is something else, man. After raising $859,000, instead of going away quietly, she drops a video telling other white folks, oh yeah, you should also call them the N-word too. Yeah, learn from me. Don't back down. Go outside and call them the N-word too. So Minnesota seen this malarkey and said, nah, we can't. Dog, yo, can you imagine if this becomes a thing? If this precedent gets to stick? So Minnesota did the little they could do. They stepped in, arrested her, charged her with disorderly conduct, misdemeanor. And she ultimately went to trial and got convicted because obviously, right? No sensible jury is watching that video, seeing what you did and letting you get away with it.
I hope they didn't allow her to get a public defender as well. We know you have $800,000. Pay for your own shit.
Right.
This is probably the best way to update your resume in 2026, and I've tested a lot of these tools.
No jury that actually thinks black people is human is allowing you to get away with something of that manner.
Sam, we are now on day 4 of this very lengthy misdemeanor trial here. Let me catch you up on what we started with. The judge began by questioning the jury on their integrity. If you remember my report from yesterday, Sam, it was revealed to us that a local media outlet received a Facebook comment stating that one of their reporters had been in contact with the jury, which is illegal. That could have been a mistrial if that was the case, but all the jury members denied having any conversations about this trial outside of the courtroom. Now, the defense then called in the RPD detective who first interviewed the father of the boy. If you remember yesterday, we heard from the detective that gave us the second interview, and now we heard the first interview, and we got some information come to light today. The detective says that the father never cried or acted overwhelmed during the entire 40-minute to 1-hour interview, and that he never mentioned the possibility of Hendrix ever hitting his child or the fear of Hendrix striking his child, which was mentioned in the second interview. The detective also mentioned that multiple families had contacted RPD claiming to be the parents that were affected by the situation. Now, after this, the RPD detective was dismissed, and the defense then went after the second GoFundMe that was set up to benefit the father, and the judge was having none of that. The judge explained that anybody can post anything on the internet these days, and that the defense would need far more proof, like a representative from GoFundMe, to prove that this was a real account. Now, there was a back and forth between the defense and the judge blew up, saying that the defense would be found in contempt of court if he continued, and he stopped that line of questioning right there. Hang on a second, bear with me here. Now, closing arguments, this is the main part. Prosecution says that this is a straightforward trial and it's not a matter of emotions or speculation. They're arguing that Hendrix's words do fall under the legal definition of fighting words, meaning that they're likely to provoke an immediate violent response from whoever they are spoken to, and that her conduct, chasing after the child, yelling and being confrontational in the park, was a breach of the peace and was disorderly.
Here's the verdict from the trial. So she was charged with disorderly conduct. Count 1, disorderly conduct towards the child. She was found not guilty. However, she was found guilty of count 2, which is disorderly conduct towards the kid's father who was recorded. What? The judge could sentence her to a maximum of 90 days in jail. He declined. He sentenced her to 90 days suspended, a $1,000 fine, and 200 hours of community service. So she got off light, to be honest. But when the results and the verdict hit the timeline, okay, the Klan members and the devils all came to Twitter to complain about this verdict. Now, all of a sudden, these devils remember the First Amendment is a thing when it comes to Shiloh Hendrix and her using the N-word. When it comes to defend somebody's right to use the N-word, all of a sudden they remember the First Amendment is a thing. One person says, this is unreal. Minnesota has lost its mind. Now, peep, the race of the people who are complaining about this verdict, and also peep the usernames as well, okay? Peep their usernames. You will start to see a trend here. One person says unconstitutional, which I don't care about Shiloh Hendrix' rights. One person says they are attacking our First Amendment. Next, they'll go after our Second Amendment, and that must not happen. We need to fight for this. We need to fight for Shiloh Hendrix' right to say the internet. Man. Y'all are just racist. It's cool. Now, here's where you start to see a trend in the usernames. One person, the Ultra MAGA, says, unbelievable! Exclamation point. That was important too.
We're going to end the video here, and I'll be real with you. I've got no problem with, in the West, any political party, if I'm being honest, generally speaking, or people from political parties as individuals, right? But shit like this is where I look at black conservatives a little bit differently. We know that every single person who is for this is on the right, like every single person. And as someone who doesn't like labels, personally, why would you subject yourself to being a part of a movement where it's so common for people to view like this? If you don't agree with the liberals, I don't a lot of the time, why not just be apolitical? Why would you subject yourself to this? You must have no racial self-esteem, because as soon as I'm a part of a movement and then I see people over there saying some really crazy shit, right, about people like me, just because of something I have no control over, and then the group doesn't check them, the majority doesn't check them, I'm questioning the whole group. But that's just me. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments, man.
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone.